This video is inspired by Nuno Viking, who I have no idea what he done wrong, but considering there's a marker on his city and he's tagless and with a bubble, it's not looking too promising for our Viking over here. And honestly, I've been in the leadership positions and I've dealt with rogues, and since then, I think handling rogues has got much easier. But before we get to actual solutions, I want to talk about why do actually people go rogue in the first place. And honestly, there's a lot of reasons, but mostly it's about being asked to leave, being asked to drop power, not getting a decent MGE spot, for example, or, you know, some childish things. In most cases, I think most rogues aren't actually very smart, which is a good thing for us who actually want to have a good environment for the people who want to come in and have a good time. So we have the MG hunters, most likely, especially in the during the off season, so outside of KVK, where the MGE are mostly fixed and the scores are mostly kept low. And then come stage 5 on a kill event or stage 6, they try to get the points and just take rewards. And honestly, if they take the heads and migrate, I wouldn't even be mad. Like, yeah, I will be annoyed, but at the end of the day, they left, so we don't have to deal with their bullshit anymore. So that's also a good thing. But usually they stay and then try to be a nuisance all across the map, even in KVK, perhaps, if it comes to that. So rogues, I don't see that point. Why would you be a rogue? Like, yeah, maybe you don't like the rules, trying to be edgy or something, but if you don't like the kingdom, then just move away. Even if you're free to play, you can hoard enough, credits, get yourself passports for the alliance shop, and be on your way. It's the most painless way for all parties involved, and really, I wouldn't get that kind of reputation if I were playing the game. Like, reputation of being a rogue or being a douchebag. It doesn't help your ROK resume, so to speak. So don't be a rogue. Basically, just it's not worth the time, effort, or your resources. It's best just if you're being asked to leave, drop power. You if you want to like comply, do it. If you don't, move away, find another kingdom. It's very simple. But a method of dealing with rogues is actually not that hard. Like, ideally, you want to know their location at all times. You wanted to keep them in alliance where you have R5 or 4R5, where you can find their city just by looking at them on the alliance lists, and just keep the eye on them until their shield drops off. Once the shield drops off, you can TP around, and maybe if the city's not that high powered, just swarm it down like below 50 million, I would say. Maybe more if you're feeling ballsy enough. But the people who should be doing this are the high powered players, like the whales. And ideally, you should have like a team for this, which you can set up, and they would like come in, swoop in around a target, like maybe 5 or 6 cities, TP in, fill the rally. Then after the rally, just consider swarming the city until it's done. Now, what you could do is, if they're being a pesky nuisance, killing farmers, attacking flags, you use something that's relatively new into the game, and it's very helpful. That is the king skill, which is exile or banish, exile, just for Lost Kingdom. So banish is basically, go sit in a corner of the classroom type of skill. So instead of a classroom, it's in the usually top left corner of the kingdom, and they can't move from there, if I recall. So it's a very neat way of like putting all your quote unquote bullies in this place, and they have really nothing to do here. No one is in this particular zone because the nodes are very low and there is really no point to it. So at that point, if they are here and they can't really cause anything worthwhile, they either just stop doing what they're doing, maybe respond to those messages finally, and hopefully they just leave at the end of it. But what the good thing about the banish and exile too is you can banish the city even with the marches outside the city. So realistically, what you could do is if he's here, let's use nothing against Wokiel here, just an example. Let's see he has 5 marches outside. You banish his city, his marchers are still here. Now, if you want to kill them, that's easy kill points, right? But ideally, you want him to attack you because doing that will get his war frenzy up. War frenzy is a state of being where you can actually use a P shield, and if that does happen, you go to the city immediately, start a rally, fill it up, maybe start another one when it gets done, and then just try to swarm after the rally. Ideally, on the second rally, I think ideally, if you're quick enough, you can get 2 rallies in. After the second rally, it's all dead troops. You just swarm him down, even if he's a bit high powered. It's something worth doing. But even if you manage to completely zero him, you might go and just retrain all these troops in like an event where there's like a 20 sculpture event. And I know those instances. I know the experience. He just trains back his troops. He goes back at it again. Then he learns this kind of lesson, and then he tries to park his troops somewhere in alliance where you can really have access to. But if you have an active leadership who has very like thought out alliance lists where you can access basically any alliance in any zone, that means a rogue can't really hide. And if they do try to, they won't be successful because you will have eyes on the whole kingdom. Now, do I think every leadership in the game is worth listening to? Probably not. Okay, probably not. I would say not all kingdoms are equal, but if you don't agree with it, just leave because it's not worth your time trying to like change someone's opinion if they're not willing to listen. You're just wasting your time. So if you think you're in a kingdom that's not very well run, the best thing for you to do is just leave and find a kingdom that is appropriate to your understanding of the game and your competitiveness for the game. That's just my 2 cents. Like in my kingdom, I don't see myself ever leaving because I like the environment and I like the structure. Do I cry about not getting MGE or events? No, because I understand the basics premise, like the basic premise behind MGE. MGE is designed for the highest people. Well, not highest. That's not the word. Like the people who actually carry the kingdom in terms of garrisoning and rallies. So the strongest governor, people who are actually not just field fighting, but actually providing multiple purposes on the battlefield. So for me, not getting like a top 3 rank in an infantry type of MGE or cavalry does not bother me because I know it's getting into good hands, and doing so would get me got way more value than me just getting those sculptures for myself and just being a selfish bitch and trying to get all these KP. So I hope you catch my drift here. being a rogue is not really worth it, because in the end you will all meet the same fate. You will all either be zeroed, or you will just get bored of doing the same thing you're doing, and then get zeroed again and again and again till you get bored of, and probably even delete the game in the end at all, like forever. Which, if you're not feeling the game at that point, that's more than fine. It's your choice at the end of the day, and I hope you make the right one. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and subscribing. I will see you guys in the next one.